Good morning, all of you out there. Welcome to Takeover Tuesdays. For those of you who have never joined us before, this is a segment about connecting community, connecting small business owners, and just spreading the word about who they are. And today we have a special guest, but before we get to him, I would like to just acknowledge those that have families or friends or yourself have been impacted by COVID-19. I am always thinking about you, sending positive vibes, and wishing you wellness during this time. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome, Christian. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Trying to enjoy this beautiful sunshine while we have it.
I know. This it went from like 70s to 90s overnight.
Real quick.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're outside. It looks beautiful out there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Christian Steward of Real Property Inspections, and he is a certified inspector. And we're just going to jump right in, Christian. You have a very interesting story. So could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a Denver native. I grew up on the east side of Colorado, or Denver, excuse me. This has a lot of different names now, but those who are from there know. I went to Manual High School, went to George Washington High School. I'm actually a graduate of the CU Denver. I got a degree in biology, and my entrepreneurial track has come just over years from doing a lot of community work. I would say, got my professional jump start in an actual volunteer capacity with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. And so I was exposed to a lot of different things. And then I realized the importance of ownership and community. And so I started a business, which is the umbrella, Be Real. And I was explaining to you, which means be righteous, empowered, ambitious, and loving. And from there, my partner and I, Gaylon Johnson, started Real Property Inspections, LLC. And the reason why we started that, because we realized that real estate is one of those industries that will always have buying power. It will always be around, and it always will be a good investment. And we wanted to get into a more skill trade. And be able to create a profession for us that could last longer than even, some of the jobs that we worked. And so that's kind of just a brief overview of who I am and a little bit of what I've done.
Thank you. So can you tell us about what was the inspiration behind the business when you first got started?
So going back to the beginning, of the business, even before, I had a business called Real Fitness, and Real Fitness is a fitness business. And what I realized is that if the economy ever tanked, and I started this business in 2014, if the economy ever tanked, fitness would be one of those items that would be cut off people's budget lines. And so, and I was tired of running a business by myself, doing all of the work. It is very rewarding, but it's hard labor. And so we started, I got together with a few of my buddies, and we talked about starting Real Property Inspections. And so that was Gaylon and Ricky Payne, who was also one of the owners. And we wanted to explore other options that could, like, again, sustain something like we're going through now. Who knew we would be going through this, but we wanted to be ahead of the curve. And I feel that we did that. I'm very proud of the work that we've done since then.
You were definitely ahead of the curve, because what I'm hearing you say is you shifted long ago, even before all of this was happening, this unique time. So it sounds like you already had that mindset.
Mm-hmm. We started the business in 2017. And so, yeah, that was, I did, because I thought about the recession that we had, and, my heart goes out to all of the personal trainers and the gyms who are suffering right now, and it's hard times. And I know we'll get back to some sense of normalcy, but, it's just important to think not just what is going on now, but to project what the future is going to be like.
Yes, absolutely. On a side note, do you have any pointers for trainers or anyone going through this time period?
I don't have any pointers. I think that what they're seeing is that they're moving more virtual. And I think that a lot of the trainers were actually going in that direction before. And so they're offering um, uh, online of platforms to work out and apps. And so, I just keep people inspired and give us not just the physical health that we need in this moment, but also the mental health piece.
Yes, that's very important. So that's a good segue into with real property inspections. How have you been handling this time? We know that, different cities and states have different regulations, and
Mhm.
let's get into a little bit about Denver's regulations or metro area, Colorado, since that's where we're at, and how that's
So,
impacted you and your customers.
well, a couple things. And so we were able to continue doing inspections even after the stay at home order. Our business had decreased by 90%, though. And that is tough, when you're trying to, pay, workers and pay owners and stuff like that. And uh, what we decided to do, because we're certified through Internachi, and what we decided, and Internachi offer offers a COVID-19 inspection safety course. And so we got our apprentice and our lead inspector to take that training so we can practice social distancing when we are doing the inspection, and we're guiding real estate agents and buyers and sellers on what that looks like. But we really, as far as the loss of business, we've been blessed by our community. We've been given grants by Be Well and ULFC, the Urban Leadership Foundation of Colorado, who has helped us in some small funds to maintain some of our operating costs. And so it's really just about identifying the resources available, practicing the social distancing, and letting people know that we're still in business, even through all of this.
Exactly. And to speak to that, I think it's huge that you all in your company got certified and trained, because that can speak to the customer as their comfortability going through the home, like you
Mhm,
said, and
mhm.
such. And can you get into a little bit of what that training entailed? And
Um, I, I, I could. Uh, so it's really talking about, so when we do the inspections, we inform the buyers and the sellers like, hey, we're going to make sure that we have the mask appropriate, we're wearing gloves, and we're asking people not to be in the houses when we are doing the inspection. And I know that's really hard. I know a lot of real estate agents have actually had to back away from doing showings of houses and being a part of the inspection. And so it's really being mindful about people's I would say nervousness about this investment that they're having, and making sure that they know that we're trying not to only make sure we're safe and protect our families, but we are doing the same for the clients. And so it's really just those extra precautionary measures, and a lot of work and communication prior to the inspection with the people who are purchasing.
yeah, you mentioned community partners and members, and as to the help that you've received, how important has that been in getting you through during this time?
It's I'm appreciative. I really am. It's very small amounts, and we don't take those lightly. It's been able to pay for some of our operating costs, and you know, and that allows us to redirect some of the money to pay people. And we have an apprenticeship program, and um, with our apprenticeship program, we want to be able to have, because what happens if you can't get paid for what you're doing, you're going to find some other means to go make money. And so this allows our apprentices to feel comfortable to continue this work and continue to build a profession, so they can become skilled inspectors. And so that has allowed us to redirect some of the funds. And like I said, it's huge, and we're just grateful for that.
If anyone out there listening wants to become an apprentice with your organization, how do they go about doing that?
Well, right now it's really difficult because we don't necessarily have the capacity to take on more apprentices. We really encourage Black and brown people to get in more skilled trades like this. So one of the first things that I would suggest is to go to InterNACHI and to look through the course material and start taking the courses to become an inspector. And as things start to ramp up for us and things get to more of a normal state, whatever that means, the new normal is the new term, then we can start to take people in, more apprenticeships in. But really, it's about starting the training and the education piece, and then and then once we have more inspections to do, then we can possibly have people apply, and then we have a 6 to 9 month apprenticeship, and then once that happens and you get certified, then we'll take you on as an inspector.
What
Oh,
is
so you asked how they can learn about it. So also one thing, if you just want to, like, once you go through it, or even if you have questions, we're more than willing to answer questions. You can go onto our website, and our website is www.realinspectionsllc.com, and you can just submit a general inquiry, and we'll get back to you.
Is there a cost associated with going through this program, and how does that all work?
So with InterNACHI, they ask that you do a membership. It's $50 a month, and then they give you unlimited access to all of these resources and tools and education, and other inspectors and meetings. And so, we're talking about thousands of classroom class trainings. Again, you can actually ask master inspectors questions, and and so it's been it's like a subscription, really, and so it's all based upon your pace. So my partner and I, it took us about 4 to 6 months to really get through all of the trainings and pass all of the tests. Now the test is free. There's 3 tests that you have to take, and all of them are free with the subscription of $49.99 a month.
Very
And
nice.
that's internachi.org.
Okay, say that again.
internachi.org.
And can you spell that? And I'll put it in the comments for everyone.
Of course, yeah. So INTERNACHI.org.
Gotcha. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about your services during this time. Are they, is there anything that, other than what we talked about with the COVID-19 training, that looks different with your services, or how you're accommodating customers at this time?
So a few things, and customers is such we look at it as such a communal and general way. And what I mean by that is we're just not servicing people who are buying or selling homes, but we also look at real estate agents and the empowerment method and the training of them. So we actually got certified through DORA to offer continuing education courses. And so what we can do is arrange a training, a presentation of training, which we call Function versus Value, the Importance of Inspection. And real estate agents could also go onto our website to schedule those. And what we can do is offer one CE course towards their continuing education courses. We know that real estate agents also have to have those to continue to keep their real estate certifications license. And so that's one way we service that piece, is we want to empower with training and the importance of inspections with them. But also with our services, we offer commercial inspections, and that's we've done commercial inspections for Park Meadows Mall. For other bigger establishments, we're still doing residential inspections. And with the residential inspections, that it can range from condos, townhouses, homes, mansions, anywhere from 10 square feet to 10,000 square feet. And that's pretty standard. We also offer radon services with our inspections, and then we partner with partner with sewer scope companies, and so we streamline that process. So either the buyer, the seller, the real estate agent don't have to go and make 3 different calls and arrange 3 different services to have those services done. We'll go ahead and take care of that for you, and then we'll include all those reports in our general inspection report. So we want to streamline the services for the clients.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So you're covering all bases with everything you
Mm-hmm.
do every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Would would you explain the radon piece just for those who are not in the industry or maybe have not had to go through that process with buying or listing a house?
So the thing about radon. So let's I want us to be clear about radon. Every house, every property has radon, right? It's just a level of degree, and there's a safe degree and there's an unsafe degree. And so, with that being said, what we do is we'll come in and we'll put a unit in the service, and we will measure the radon levels. We'll let you know what the procedures are to that prior to the radon, and we'll let it sit 2 to 3 days, to a minimum. 3 is to get the better results, and then we'll give you those test numbers. And so we'll say, hey, either you need a radon mitigation system, which we could also arrange the company to come do that too, or you're in safe levels, and that's really what it's about. We have to no property is without radon. And so that's why it's really important to test radon in your houses, whether you are buying or selling or just living in it. And so I hope I answered your question.
You absolutely did. And I thank you for taking the time with that, because I know with some of my clients and customers, there's sometimes confusion with how that all works and what radon is.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for clarifying that. So talk a bit more about, as you're growing as a business owner, what have been some of the pitfalls? What have been some of the successes? Just speak to that journey, if you could.
So as a business owner, you have to, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people ask, hey, how can I be an inspector? Right. Like, or, and they think that it's this thing that it's going to just magically happen. Right. Like, we've been in business for 3 years, and we're just now starting to really rev up to the place where we can support our employees and our other owners. And so those 2 years of just building and being up all night and planning and I mean, me and my partner Gaylon, we have a IM messaging between us, and I mean, we just, like, I'm sure we hundreds of thousands of messages between us trying to just build and trying to spend all the energy and even the money that comes with building a business. And so that has, I look at those as really hard times, but they're fulfilling, because there's the success that I look at is the autonomy and the legacy that we can garner from having a business, right? And I think about, like, my daughter, who, like, she'll go around like, hi, my name is Zayla, Real Property Inspections. And I think about, all the other kids of the owners and thinking about handing that off. And I look at that as a success. Also, employing people from our community, people that look like us, has been a success. Creating the apprenticeship program to train people for skills, not jobs, right? Because jobs are very easy to come by, and no disrespect to anyone who are working those jobs, but we want to empower and grow our community, and that has really been a huge success in our endeavors. I don't look at much as failures, even though that's it's failures in the fact it's learning curves, right? And learning the industry. And one of the things that we learn pretty quickly, with real estate agents, is that um, there's a trust factor and there's relationships, right? And so when you're like, hey, I'm an inspection company, the real estate agents are like, how long you been in business? And you're like, oh, like a year. They're like, nope, you ain't been in business long enough, because they're literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. And so what has happened with that is that we've had to build that trust and let real estate agents, after all of this time, know, hey, we actually have the know-how and the capability to do these things. And so that has been a really hard thing, is to try to get people to trust us enough going throughout the years. And now real estate agents are trusting us. Oh, you've been around long enough, you know what you're talking about. And we've had real estate agents who took a chance on us in the beginning when we didn't have experiences. And I'm so grateful for them, because you're not always proficient in the beginning. And so that has been really a hard piece. It's not like we're just selling a great product, although we do have products and services. It's really about the trust and the relationship building. That's been one of the hardest, most fulfilling pieces in this journey.
Yeah, you touched upon so many important points. Just the mentorship, almost like you said, with your daughter and other kids, that's really a form of mentorship that sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
don't even think about. We think of it in the official structured way, but really that parents can be mentors. And like you said, there's kids watching you and seeing what you're doing. And that's a form of mentorship in the community. And then just touching and giving back to the community in that way, because that's our future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe, in the words of Dr. King, I'll never be what I ought to be until my brother is what they ought to be. And I believe, we got to grow community. And that means not just our peers, but, with the kids. I, I can say, and this is my journey and my experience, is that, with my parents, I didn't see the potential of ownership. I didn't realize, all I see them is in the grind every day, working to make somebody else rich and powerful. And again, not everybody is going to be owners, although in some capacity we should. But I think it's good to see that option, right? That's what could happen. That's what could be. And that has been really, it's one of the reasons what keeps me going.
Yeah, because I second that, because if you don't know what's out there, how, knowledge is power. So if you,
Right.
you don't know what you don't know, and once you know something, that may shift you into something else that you could have never imagined for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go, Christian, I would like you to, I put your website in the comments. Is that the easiest way to get in touch with Real Inspections?
We also have a phone number that will ring to both Gaylon and I. Gaylon Johnson, which I have to give kudos to real quick. He has been the driving engine of this business. He is on the ground doing the inspections. He's the one creating a lot of the relationships that make us more powerful. And so I'm just so appreciative of him being he's our, what we call CTO, so the Chief Technology Officer, but he's really doing a lot of the operations too. And so so grateful for him. But we have a number that rings to both of our phones, and I'll include that, is 720-477-3255.
Okay.
And that is the most immediate way you can contact us, or you can go to the online or the website.
Okay. And speaking of partnership, I hear you saying that that has been a valuable thing for your business. Sometimes we hear those horror stories of how partners don't work out, but I
Mhm.
like to really focus on the ones that do, because it is possible. What has made your partnership really thrive, besides of course both of you working super hard?
Um, so to be honest with you, is that we don't take things personal, that we hold each other accountable and don't take it personal, that we can call each other out. We've given each other the space to be honest and sometimes even brutal, and know that there's a bigger purpose that is driving this, not just our personal egos, right? I think that we can put our personal egos to the side, because we have argued a lot, and we probably will continue to, but we understand that this is so much bigger than us. And really, even thinking about when, because there are three owners, thinking about even putting together the partnerships, you know, making sure that there are people where your weaknesses are, that's their strengths, and so, Galen and I do a lot of the day-to-day stuff, but he's better at technology. And so when we were thinking about partnerships, I was like, listen, that's what I need, and he was like, oh, you're good at, presenting our company and generating business. And so we really play off each other's strengths and acknowledge each other's weaknesses, and hold each other accountable. And I think that's really been really important for our partnership.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, speaking to just any partnership, I know with myself that has been the same with my business, is accountability, honesty, and as you said, man, ego is a
Yeah.
powerful thing for good or bad. So I think that is really key. There's times where you just have to humble yourself and accept that you don't know something or someone can do it better. And you also, I think, mentioned a key thing is filling in where the other one has a weakness, and that makes really successful partnerships.
Yeah, and just to add on really quick, I think also, one thing that even with Galen was that, the leadership, is developing leadership. And then we just don't do that on the owner level, right? We want to do that even with our apprentices. Everybody who's involved in our business, it's not, this hierarchy thing. It's really about making sure people live up to the greatest level of potential and growing people and empowering people to be leaders, right? And I think that, so, he can tell me this is what needs to be done. And okay, cool. I respect you, and I get it. Or this is an area you need to grow in. So it's not just about the actual duties and the services, but developing the person to feel, this is a term I use often, is like to be a king. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to impose your will on people, but you feel empowered in your position, whatever that position is.
Yes, Christian, what I hear you saying over and over is empowerment, and that's key to all of this. It's
Mm-hmm.
just making others empowered, empowering yourself. So I completely love what you're doing, and the fact that I hear that your organization is going deeper than just employees.
Mm-hmm.
You're training others, your apprenticeships. I mean, that is valuable because that makes it all come full circle.
Hmm. Hmm. And we give a lot of kudos to the people before us. We're standing on the shoulders of giants, and we want to make sure we honor them and the generations that come after.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. Do you have any last words that you'd like to share?
Um, yes, I have a quote I will leave you with, um, that I added on to. It's not mine originally, but I added on to it. So, be kind to your neighbor, but do not limit your kindness to your neighborhood.
I love that. That's deep. Say that one more time.
Be kind to your neighbor, but do not limit your kindness to your neighborhood.
Hmm. I think, boy, I could go so many ways with that during this time.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on and highlighting our company. And we respect and acknowledge all the great things you're doing in the community as well.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said, it takes a village. They say it takes a
Hmm.
village raising kids. It takes a village to be a small business owner and entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we all need each other and to hold each other down and accountable. And that's what makes it all work.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I have put your website in the comments, phone number. Please reach out to Christian if you are looking for an appraiser and need one. I'm also an agent, so me and him can team up together and get the job done if you need that too. In the meantime, I would like to just thank, as I do every show, all the frontline workers, appraisers, eh, people in the real estate industry, as I say every show, and I mean it. We are all what keeps this going. If one of us stops, then we don't have a full system. So I just really appreciate everybody out there keeping it going, keeping the hard work up. I know it can be taxing during this time. It's not always fun, it can be stressful, but I appreciate just everybody doing their part. Store workers, everybody. Just can't thank you enough for keeping us all going during this time. And until the next time, be inspired. If you would like to be on the show at Takeover Tuesdays, I will put my email in the comment lines. I'd love to book you as a guest, and see you next time. Take care, Christian.
Bye.